Literally in my tradition, if you ask to study, to become a tribal medicine person, you literally are asking to lead. So you become the head of the church, you become the head of the tribe, or like the spiritual leader for your group of people. I think what was awkward is that our tribes have been disbanded. So I wasn't born on a reservation where there would be like a pre-built tribe. So it was the building the tribe part that was the interesting part. I think I first knew that I wasn't going to be able to get away from this like the first time I sat in Sweat Lodge with a group of veterans. And there was some that were my dad's age and my uncle's age who were Vietnam veterans. And this is 20 years ago, but these are like 60, 70-year-old men who are still carrying the exact same trauma as they walked out of Vietnam with. And I thought, wow, I mean, it's not just my family. You know, because when it's up close and personal in your family, I think at a certain point you think, maybe there's something wrong with us. Maybe we're just bad people, and that's why we have so many addicts and so much suicide and all this PTSD. And you see it in other people, especially if you see it in other ethnic groups. Like I see like African Americans, like I see Hispanic people, I see all these different ethnic groups, and I'm like, wow, like you're carrying the same trauma. And without like getting too diverse, I basically see it in all groups of brown and white women. It really doesn't matter. Like as far as women goes, it's about 100% that we carry trauma. And people didn't leave Europe to come to the United States or any other country to come to the United States because they were having a good time in their country of origin. So if you immigrated here, it means you're probably carrying trauma. If you didn't have it when you got here, you're going to pick some up because it's going to be a tough trip, like being from the outside and being in mainstream America where it's like the Barbie cookie cutter grinder. Like the sieve, like you get pressed through the sieve, and if you don't look like that, if you don't think like that, if you're not willing to essentially sacrifice your life, your dignity, everything for the money or the machine, you're going to get ground up. And so I think also once I saw that there was a way that was different, when I saw that like my elders still had like this teeny tiny thread into like Paleolithic times that connected us to like thousands of generations of ancestors, where like your ancestors and my ancestors and a lot of people's lived similarly. Like 5 generations ago, you almost couldn't tell the difference between say like Taos, Pakistan, and maybe Germany. Like people were really living in a very like agricultural sort of way. Their culture would be different, like their way of approaching that. But once I learned that this guy had this uninterrupted oral tradition, this thread back in the midst of time, you couldn't get rid of me then. You couldn't get rid of me after you saw the veterans crying in the Sweat Lodge, and they're my dad's and uncle's age. And I was like, I can't believe no one's done anything for you, Bob. In all of these years, your trauma's gotten worse. They've drugged you, they've institutionalized you, you've been to every AA and NA meeting, you've thought about suicide, and no one has truly helped you. And I, on the other hand, now have this technology and this knowledge that allows deep healing. Deep healing. But again, it's not really the medicine, that's the medicine. Like medicine in our terms is something that heals. What modern people call medicine is actually toxic capitalist bullshit. And what we have is true medicine, something that heals. But medicine isn't just in the plant medicine, it's in the community. It's in the lodge, it's in the prayers, it's in changing the way you see the world. And some of these ways that we have to change the way we see the world aren't immediately obvious. And so without this kind of map and compass, you could spend your whole life looking for it, like those Vietnam vets did, and never find it. And mainstream culture is going to guide you away from it as hard as it can. Every time you start to get near it, the people around you are going to be like, no, you're crazy. But if you have a core community of people that have this similar tradition and like we share a common heart, then infinite healing is possible. And once I knew that not only was I healing, but that was the way for literally everyone to heal. Like if we could heal the planet with one thing, it would be connection. But connection to what? Connection to the phone? Drugs, alcohol? I mean, I like to drink a glass of wine, but to use that as a social connection, that's not the way. So it's like, where is that deeper connection? What's going to point us in the right direction, like a beacon of light for a ship? And that would be these oral traditions. So it was then, like when I felt it connect in my heart, I was like, yeah, this is what I was born for. This is why I was born into a difficult situation. I chose this so that I could see the white version of life, half of my family, and then the native version. When you live in that distinct diversity within your family, you can never look at anyone the same again. Whether they're black, they're Asian, they're this, they're that, they're big, they're tall, they're short, they're fat. I don't care. Like, you just like see all these versions of human in your own family, and you just see the heart in everybody. And that was another thing that I wanted healing for, is for my native relations to not be so embittered and to not be so steeped in this rage and pain for having had things wrongfully taken from them that were rightfully theirs. I wanted to see that culture reinvigorated and honored so that people could be released from that genetic trauma.